Now, please allow me to introduce my colleague, Judge Theodor Meron, President of the Tribunal, and also President of the new mechanism for international criminal tribunals. Judge Meron, the floor is yours.
Let me start by thanking His Majesty for bringing with him sunshine. It's a great omen to all of us, and perhaps also for his reign. Your Majesty, Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous honor for me to open this celebration today and to do so before such a distinguished audience. In this respect, I extend my deep gratitude to His Majesty King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands for his presence at our ceremony today, which is, I believe, a testament to the strong commitment of the Netherlands to international criminal justice and to the work of this tribunal in particular. Thank you, Your Majesty. I would like also to acknowledge the presence of the Mayor of The Hague, Mr. Van Artsen, a staunch supporter of the tribunal, who is leading the way to ensuring that The Hague is rightfully known the world over as the international city of peace and justice, and who, as foreign minister, played a critical role in ensuring the delivery up to The Hague of the last fugitives of the tribunals. I also note the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Renee Jones-Bos, and Ambassador Nora Steenhoever, and would like to convey the gratitude of the tribunal for the excellent relations that they and their colleagues have maintained with the tribunal on behalf of our host state. And I wish to take note of the presence here today of the tribunal's first prosecutor, my friend Justice Richard Goldstone, who together with the tribunal's first president, the late Judge Nino Cassese, did more than anyone else to keep the tribunal alive during the first lean years. Finally, I wish to acknowledge the Legal Counsel of the United Nations, Mrs. Patricia O'Brien, who is with us today as the representative of the Secretary General of the United Nations. Patricia, Mrs. O'Brien, has been a powerful voice for international justice. And on behalf of the tribunal, I wish to express my deep appreciation to her and to the office which she heads, Office of the Legal Counsel of the United Nations, for their help with the work of the tribunal since its establishment. The 25th of May 2013 marked 23 years since the establishment of the tribunal by United Nations Security Council Resolution 827. The decision taken that day by the Security Council was a historic one. After 50 long years of inaction following Nuremberg, the international community joined together and issued a strong response to atrocities being committed during a period of fierce armed conflict, a response rooted not in recrimination or retribution, but in the rule of law and the idea of principled accountability. Of course, at the time of issuing Resolution 827, there is no question that some members of the Security Council and indeed of the broader international community may have had their doubts. They may have had doubts that there would be arrests, doubts that there would be trials, and doubts that the courts that they were creating on paper would become a viable and venerable institution. No one, in short, could have known in 1993 if and how the Security Council's ideal of holding individuals to account for grave breaches of international humanitarian law would translate into practice. Today, 20 years on, I am happy to report that the idea embodied in Resolution 827 of a world in which accountability is becoming the rule and not the exception has become a reality. We see this reality when we look to the other international criminal courts and tribunals here in our neighborhood at The Hague. None of this would have been possible without the groundbreaking example that the tribunal has set. The tribunal indicted 161 accused persons, and all 161 have been accounted for. So we have an unprecedented 100% law enforcement rate. Through its rules and practices, its decisions and judgments, the tribunal has established key precedents in the areas of substantive and procedural international criminal law. Precedents that have not only been applied in our tribunal, but have guided the work of other international courts and of domestic jurisdictions. Through our decisions and judgments, we have also developed a coherent body of precedents addressing international fair trial rights and international standards of due process. Over the past 2 decades, we have also paid close attention to the impact of the work of the tribunal on affected communities. With the adoption of the tribunal's completion strategy in 2003, we have focused our attention on assisting domestic jurisdictions in developing the capacity to continue the work of the tribunal through national prosecutions. 20 years after the establishment of the tribunal, we live in a new era of accountability, an era where the international community can and will react to heinous crimes committed in times of armed conflict and in times of peace, an era where the human dignity of all persons is valued, and where there is an obligation on the part of the international community to act to stop the commission of atrocities and to bring those responsible to account. The work of the tribunal demonstrated that such action could be taken, that principle could win over impunity, and that heinous crimes can be punished, whoever their architects may be. All of that has been achieved over the past 20 years would not have been possible without those who believed in the ideal of international criminal justice and worked with dedication to make it a reality. In celebrating the tribunal's achievements today, we also pay tribute to the Security Council for the decision it took in Resolution 827, to the Kingdom of the Netherlands for serving most ably as a host these last 2 decades, the members of the international community, and especially the European Union and the United States, who, through their ever-increasing cooperation and support, have made the tribunal what it is today, and the witnesses and victims who stepped forward to give evidence. But above all, tribute must be paid to the judges, to the registrars, to the prosecutors, to the defense counsel, and the exceptional staff of the tribunal, past and present, for their unwavering commitment to the tribunal's work. And I thank you.